Why does rupee 50,000 feel gone by day 20? Your salary rises from rupee 50,000 to 80,000. At first, it feels like progress. Then rent upgrades, food apps, weekend plans, and shopping expand with it. The extra rupee 30,000 never reaches savings. Lifestyle absorbs the raise before you notice it. The problem is not earning more. The problem is giving every raise a new expense. The dangerous part is that nothing feels irresponsible in the moment. A better house feels deserved. Better food feels normal. A nicer phone feels like a reward for working hard. When every upgrade becomes permanent, the raise stops building freedom. Income rises on paper while savings stays almost flat in real life. That gap is the entire story of lifestyle inflation. The transition is simple. The next raise must be captured before lifestyle negotiates with it. The raise has to be protected at the moment it arrives. Otherwise, comfort quietly converts new income into permanent bills. The useful move is to decide the savings jump before the lifestyle jump. One EMI feels harmless. Then a phone EMI joins it, then a bike EMI joins it, then a personal loan starts taking its share. Suddenly 18,000 leaves before the month even begins. That is how EMI pressure builds. The trap is not one huge payment, it is 5 small payments behaving like one big leak. The first EMI does not look dangerous because it feels affordable alone. The second EMI still looks manageable. Then the third fixed payment arrives and suddenly flexibility disappears. The trap is that each payment was approved separately. The salary faces them together. This is why EMI pressure is a cash flow problem before it becomes a debt problem. Payments stack before any flexible spending choice begins. Once fixed payments cross a line, discipline cannot rescue the month by itself. The next step is to judge EMIs together, not one by one. A payment that looks small alone can still weaken the whole month. Cash flow improves when fixed promises stop expanding silently. A 100,000 credit card balance does not look scary at first. The bank says the minimum payment is only 3,000. At 40% annual interest, the monthly interest itself is around rupee 3,300. So even after paying, the balance barely moves. Sometimes it grows. That is the debt trap. The payment feels responsible. The interest is still winning. The minimum payment is designed to feel emotionally comfortable. It gives the feeling of progress without attacking the real balance. Interest keeps working quietly in the background. That means the borrower can pay every month and still feel stuck. The balance stays stubborn while interest keeps adding pressure. This is the moment where the viewer understands that debt is not only an amount, it is a machine that charges rent on delay. The first repair is to attack the balance, not the feeling of progress. A debt plan has to beat the interest engine directly. Minimum comfort is expensive when the principal refuses to move. Inflation does not attack your savings loudly, it works quietly. If rupee 1,000,000 sits idle while prices rise at 7%, its buying power keeps shrinking. After 10 years, the same money feels almost half as useful. Your bank balance may look stable. The real value is leaking every year. Inflation is hard to fear because the bank balance does not visibly fall. The number on the screen can stay the same while the shopping basket gets smaller. That is what makes it dangerous. The value shrinks even while the account number looks calm. A fixed deposit can feel safe and still fail if returns do not beat price rise. The lesson is not to hate safety. The lesson is to understand real return after inflation. The decision is not between safety and risk. The decision is whether the money keeps real buying power. A safe-looking balance still needs a real return check. That is why this inflation erosion needs one clear before and after moment. A 5,000 SIP looks boring in the first month. It still looks small in the first year. At 12% annual return over 20 years, the story changes. You invest about 12 lakh from your pocket. Compounding can turn it into nearly 50 lakh. The magic is not speed. The magic is staying invested long enough. The first few months feel boring because compounding has not had enough time to show off. That boredom is the test. The monthly SIP is not supposed to look dramatic on day one. It is supposed to create a repeatable habit that survives mood, market noise, and salary stress. Over time, contributions become the base and returns start adding their own returns. The slow engine becomes powerful because it keeps running. That is the transition from saving what is left to investing by design. The habit matters because it starts before motivation is needed. A fixed contribution turns investing into a system instead of a mood. Compound interest feels slow because the first few years look unimpressive. A 5,000 monthly investment does not explode immediately. Every year, returns start earning their own returns. After 10 years, the curve bends. After 20 years, time does most of the work. That is why starting early beats waiting for the perfect amount. Compounding looks unimpressive when the timeline is short. That is why people underestimate it. The early years build the base quietly. Later, returns begin to earn returns and the curve bends upward. This is not magic. They should see time doing mechanical work on repeated contributions. The point is simple. Starting early gives the engine more road. The practical lesson is to give time more months to work. A small base becomes useful only when it is left alone long enough. Stopping early interrupts the part of the curve that matters. That is why this compounding needs one clear before and after moment. The pressure, the number, and the consequence have to connect in the same breath. Risk and return are connected. An FD may offer around 6% and feel calm. Equity can offer higher long-term growth. The price is volatility. Low risk usually means lower upside. Higher upside usually means emotional discomfort. The goal is not to avoid risk completely. The goal is to choose risk you understand. Risk is not a villain by itself. Unclear risk is the real problem. A calm product usually gives calmer returns. A volatile product may create more growth. It demands emotional strength. Every return has a price. Sometimes that price is low growth. Sometimes that price is market volatility. The goal is to choose risk deliberately instead of reacting later. The next step is to choose volatility before volatility chooses your behavior. A product is not good or bad without the risk a person can actually tolerate. The right return is the one the investor can stay with. That is why this risk return needs one clear before and after moment. Putting all your money into one stock feels exciting when it rises. One bad result, one bad quarter, or one panic fall can hurt everything. Diversification spreads the risk across assets. Some money can sit in equity, some can sit in debt funds or FD. The point is simple. One basket should not decide your future. One winner can feel genius until it becomes the only thing holding the future. That is concentration risk. Diversification is less exciting. It makes one mistake less powerful. Risk moves from one fragile point into several buckets. Equity, debt, cash, and emergency money do different jobs. None of them needs to be the hero in every situation. The portfolio becomes stronger because every rupee is not exposed to the same shock. The portfolio becomes a team instead of a single bet. That makes one bad event less powerful. The goal is not excitement, it is survival across different market moods. That is why this diversification needs one clear before and after moment. Where does your 50,000 salary go? It is a combination of lifestyle inflation, EMI payments, debt trap, inflation erosion, and more. You can change this. Start by understanding where your money is going. Make a budget. Invest in a SIP. Diversify your portfolio. Most importantly, start early. Do not wait for tomorrow. Start today.